Greetings, Internet, and welcome to Arab Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This is going to be the last episode of the introductory scenario from Enemy Action Ardennes, solo play, Allies. That's me, yeah, I'm playing the Allies. Though it feels like I'm actually playing the Germans because, I'm playing the Allies to play the counters, but most of the actual work has been for the Germans. Most of the actual decision making and crunch part of the game has been for the bot, as it were. My actual play hasn't been that difficult. The bot has been a little bit of a brain drain, but I think I'm getting there, getting to feel what units activate and don't activate, and how they activate, and where they move to, and how they move to, and how they attack, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But it's been fun. And I hope it's been fun for you guys if you've stuck with me this far. The question is, do I now do the full game? Because this is going to be coming out on the 15th of December, and we know that the actual offensive began 80 years ago on the 16th of December. So, should I start it all again? The full game? I don't see why not. I won't be doing one video per day. That rate I can't do, but I at least can start on the day. So, that's the plan. Who knows? I could get hit by that bus. Hope not, but anyway, who knows? As I say, if you've enjoyed it so far, please show that by liking it, and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Spread the word, share the video, and do anything else that requires, and commenting. Definitely make comments, because again, it all helps the channel, gets us out on the algorithm, so other people who could possibly enjoy this, will do so. But let's go down the map and see what is actually going on. As I said earlier, this is going to be the last video because I've only got two cards left and the Germans have only got two cards left. And we know the Germans have definitely got to play those two cards as their last activation. I possibly, if I spread my cards out, could get an additional activation after that. So if I spend one card now, which I've got to, and then, or I could pass. Why would I want to pass? And I could then, the Germans have their activation, and I will, if I still got a card left, could do another activation. Currently, the Germans are on, is it 3 VP? They require 6 to win. So it's leaning towards me at the moment, but you just never know how the cookie's going to crumble. At the moment, as in, let's have a look at the unit box. There are 3 Allied units that have been eliminated. One more will give them another VP, so that'll take them to 4. And then they just need to take a 1 VP or 2 single VP towns, or they take one of the ones which are worth 2 VP. Boom! Game over. Thank you very much. And we're all singing Groß Deutschland, or Deutschland über alles. Or if we're playing the Dead Kennedys, as you know, I do like my punk, so that would be California über alles, etc. Anyway, stop gibbering. Let's get on with what am I going to do. I'm not going to give a run through of what's happened prior. You can see, look at the map, go watch the previous videos if you haven't done so already. If you're really interested in this game, I think you'll find what has happened as fascinating as I have. I mean, you can see here, there is, well, there's nothing stopping them, is there? There's nobody there. There's nobody. So I've got 2 cards to choose from. Oh, I want to bring them up. There we go. Come on. There we go. So now I can only play where it's got a little arrow or a little A. So on this one, I could deploy divisional reserves. There are 2 units in divisional reserves, but are they going to really, the 4th Infantry Division are right down here. They're not going to really do me any good down there. So I don't think I should bring those in. I'm just showing the process of elimination. I'm going to deploy one one reserve unit. Okay, they haven't really got any, so can't do the G. Activate 4 or 10 armor division. Well, do I really want to activate down there? No. I'll activate any one unit. Now that's a possibility. Or I could play the event engineers. Can't use it to blow bridges, but I could put 2 roadblocks. That's also a possibility. So I could activate any one unit or put in 2 more roadblocks if I use that card. If I use this one, core reserves, I mean, what actual reserves do we have? Unit box. Let's have a look. We have 1 from the 5th core and 2 from the 11th core, sorry, 12th core, um, which would allow, I could play those using this card, deploy the 4 units, but they're in the wrong space. They're not going to stop where those units are would be useful later in the game when I need to start counterattacking, which in this particular scenario isn't going to occur. Um, so there's no core reserves for this card. Core units, maybe. Can only move on at space. Again, engineers as an event, so I could play a roadblock again. Um, and then yeah, can't use these for. I'm looking at the combat options. Could use combat engineers on that card, but I've also got combat engineers there. So either one of the two. Both have got the engineers event. That one allows me to activate 1 unit, and that allows me to activate 1 unit. So this activating 1 unit, will it do me any favors? Would be nice to get a unit into here, just in case these guys activate. Would like to get a unit into Hoffalo as well. Can't do both. Now at the roadblocks, can't place a roadblock adjacent to a German unit. So I couldn't place a roadblock here. Let me look into this activate 1 unit. Because when I first thought about that, when I was looking at these, why on earth would you want to activate 1 unit? Oh, that's also a good point. Is the unit I activate, if it's infantry, can only move 1 hex. However, we have got 2 armored units here. Yeah, very shiny, very shiny. Now that activate 1 unit, could that be any unit on the board? Let's have a look. Yes, it allows me to activate speak English, allows me to activate once per day any 1 unit able to trace supply, regardless of formation, but it can't attack. Now that is interesting. Now, can it use strategical movement? It can. Yes, it can. As long as it doesn't move adjacent, doesn't go into a German city, doesn't buy some shredded wheat, he should be fine. So I think I'm going to do that. Does it really matter which one? No. So I'll play the primary card. There we go. Playing that card to activate 1 unit, send to the discard pile. I am activating one of these armored units, and that means and we're using strategical movement, it's got 2 times its movement points, so it's got 10. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all I really, hopefully, need to do. Okay. I could do that once per day. So that's it. And I can't do that again. Right. Next up, it's the Germans. So let's bring up the German deck display. There's only 2 cards left. 6th Panzer Army, and so neither of them are primary cards. That's got a 2 in it. That's got a 1 in it. So that is the primary, or the command card. And this one here is the support card. Okay. 5th Panzer Army, it's a core card. It says LXV1 core. So L50, X60, 66, 66 core. Right. Okay. Is there a special order. There's an event called Commandos on the 16th to 18th, so that will come in as well. So let's have a look what's going to happen now. Okay, this is quite amusing. Right, so there's two cards remaining. Let's bring up the German, sorry, bring it up. All right, so step two of the primary and secondary card, it says if the supporting card shows a command event, which it does, Commando says 16th to 18th, immediately implement the event and then discard. So it's Commandos coming to event. Okay, so what does that do? Commandos, discard the top card from the allied draw pile. There are no cards in the allied draw pile. If exhausted, discard a card from your choice from your hand. I've only got one card in my hand, so I'm not even going to get that, am I? So, and then that's gone as well. So that's really shortens that down a bit, doesn't it? So the allied hand, which is, I thought was being canny, keep one card back, he gone. Blinking Commandos. Gone and gone. So we're just literally down to, um, now looking again, the Germans' hand, they've only got this card, so they've got no combat or tactic cards here. Now, if they do attack, these cards are reshuffled and drawn just for combat effects. They are not used for the offensive capability. You know, they don't get any further impulses, is the word I'm looking for. Okay, so yeah. Now on this card there is also special. Eisenhower hesitates is only the 17th. So that doesn't come into effect because we're only on the 16th. So no, so activate all units in the core. Right, so this is the LXV166. Right. Is that these? LXV1, there we go. There's 3 units. So it's not, I suppose these are actually divisions, aren't they? Yes. Okay, so let's zoom in and let's have a closer look at what is going on here. Right. Okay. So I suppose that is a good thing. We know this is the last card of the game. They're on 3 VP. They could get to 4 if they take out another allied unit. St. Vith, it's worth 2 VP. So if that gets taken, they could win the game. So it's still close. Okay. So going through the sequence, what's next? Right. Army objective marker. So this is the 5th Panzer Army. Is the 5th Panzer Army counter on the board? It is. Is it proximate to, if a German unit is proximate to or within 2 hexes of the activated formation's army objective? Okay, now that's an interesting way of wording because none of the active units are proximate to it. They can't get there. However, if a German unit, it doesn't say an active German unit. Now, is that because this is shorthand because of this is on the chart? Shall we go and check that? Shall we? Shall we actually check the rules? Rule 9.1, rather than using just the cards. Okay. Let me read the actual rules. You don't want to hear me read the rules, do you? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the active formation. If the marker is on the map and no German unit is proximate to the marker or within 2 hexes of the marker, stays in its current location. If any German unit is proximate, and we'll go through what proximate means again, to the marker or within 2 hexes of the marker, roll the die. Right. So even though this is the active formation, this unit is proximate to that. Proximate means can it move there into that hex, it's an empty hex, using its movement value, which it can because it costs it 2 to enter the broken ground here 3 along the road, 4 along the road, 5 into that hex. So it is proximate to it, so therefore we have to roll for it. Does it actually move? Now, it's currently in Malmedy. Let me get the actual chart up in my greasy little mitts. It's the 5th Panzer Army. So that's color coded dark. It's in Hofenslow, and I roll a dice. And 1 to 6, it goes to Marsh. 7 to 9 to Durbury, and 10 to Rochefort. Goes to 5, which is Marsh. So let me have to zoom out a little bit. Where is that? There it is. So that has now gone all the way to there. Now, I lose this game automatically if 2 of those markers move. So 1 has moved. So that was a 50-50. If either one of the other 2 markers had moved, that would have been game over, no matter what the victory points were. But one of them's moved. And we're looking at these 3 units. So I can't see another one moving because 6 Panther Army, there's no more cards for them to draw. Okay, moving the units on the map. Okay, so using the movement methods again, we check for methods 1 to 9, check all eligible units for one method before proceeding to the next. So movement method 1, none of them apply to these 3 units, but movement method 2 does apply to this unit. Move to a hex closer to a unit's army objective and adjacent to an allied VP hex. That's an allied VP hex. That has no zone of control. That's a bridge. But it doesn't mean it matter even if it wasn't a bridge. He can still move across to there. Dum dum dum. He's closer to the objective, which is way over this side now. And it's a VP hex. I move to a hex close to a unit army's objective and adjacent to an allied VP. Does that apply to this unit as well? Because this is done in ascending order. We've done unit 4. That one definitely doesn't apply, but this unit I think applies as well. Because going through the, let's have a look, going through the forest costs 4 movement points, and crossing that bridge on the road costs it 1. So he could actually go, well, because remember, this unit has no zone of control. If he had a zone of control, he couldn't do that. He's dispersed. So that's 4, 5. This looking this barrel now look a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Darn it. Okay. And then what does this little boy do? He's the only other unit from that core. So he doesn't do movement method. He can't get to an allied victory location. So let me go through the rest and then I'll let you know. Movement method 7. Move adjacent to an allied unit or town. Okay. To which no non-bracket German unit is adjacent. To which no non-bracket unit is adjacent. If already the only such unit adjacent to an allied town or unit, here, movement is complete. So his class's movement, his markers move. He doesn't move. He just stays loitering with intent there. And that's the movement done. Then we've got to do conduct attacks. So, which of these 2 hexes do the Germans attack? Actual fact, this attack goes in first, or potentially goes in first, because he's the lowest. Check models, yeah, you go in ascending order, so 01 first. So first of all then, so it's 5 to 3, which is 1.5 to 1. This unit is in an improved position, so actually it's 5 to 4. He's in, what kind of terrain is that? It's not clear. broken. And he's not on a supply disperse. So it's actually 1-to-1. Counterattack if it's less than 1-to-1. So it's not less than 1-to-1. So we've got to roll on this little table. Remember, modifier 16th December, -1. Um, Attacker includes elite units. The defender has no elite, there's no elite units involved. Attackers activate by army. No supporting card shows there is no supporting card. So net -1 to this roll. So the 7 becomes 6. Right, cancel attack if less than 2-to-1 or defender an attack. It is less than 2-to-1, so that attack doesn't go in. Right, now we've got to determine which of these units get attacked. It looks like it's going to be this one, because you've got to do a situational awareness or situational check against each hex. So against this one, it's total of 6-to-3. However, adjacent to an allied supplied unit, he is, so it's 4. So it's 6-to-4. And that's it. 6-to-4, so it's 1-to-1. 3-to-2, if you want to do it that way. And against this one, we have 6 versus 2. In case of allied supplied unit is 3, but it's dispersed, takes it back to 2. So it's 6-to-2, so it's 3-to-1. So that's the hex that we have to once calculate compared to the situational strength as an attacker-defender ratio. Now, against, it says only one attack check as lead unit. It says German units adjacent to more than one allied occupied hex. Calculate the situational strength ratio against each potential target, which we've just done. Conduct the attack check with the highest ratio, which is against that unit of the 106. If tied for the highest ratio, check a VP hex. So if those two ratios had been equal, probably if the two units had been the other way around, the attack would have gone against the VP hex. But it's saying to go there. Don't the Germans know that there's a victory condition? I suppose they're playing for the long game, but I suppose there's this one to check as well. I didn't think about that. What's that's in a forest, so it'll increase their defense. So no, so that is the hex. Darn fools. So now I've got to check to see if they actually go in. So it's 4, 5, 6-to-2. Allied unit adjacent dispersed cancels each other out. So it's 6-to-2 and 3-to-1. So other things that occur, we check for the ratios and such forth. 16th is -1. That's it. Low is good. 4 becomes 3. Cancel attack if less than 1.5-to-1 or attacking from one hex. They are attacking from one hex. Dear, oh dear. Now, is there anything that overrules that? Want to check supply? No. I just want to know if there was anything that says go and each lead unit, yeah, can only test once. So because they're coming from one hex, no attack. There we go. That does seem a little strange. Let me know in the comments if I made a complete frell with that one, if you know where that word's come from. And yeah, these attacks didn't go in. Interesting. So if that armored unit had actually not moved into there, stayed there, then that attack could have gone in. Interesting. Would they? Well, the whole point of the move was move to adjacent to a VP hex, wasn't it? But there wasn't enough actual strength to mitigate that attack. Let me just do one final check. Ah, so I'm still learning here. There's 2 actual active German units in that hex. Okay. After completing the attack, or if the lead unit is not eligible to attack, Check to determine if the next active German unit in ascending numerical order is eligible to attack an adjacent enemy occupied hex. So there is that armored unit could check to see if it and now become the lead unit. That unit can't be checked for again, so it checks for there. There's only one attack check as a lead unit. The German unit is adjacent to more than one allied occupied hex. Calculate the situation, all right, with the highest ratio. If tied for highest rate, check for it. If none, all right, we've done that one. One combat per unit. A German unit may participate in only one actual attack in a given activation. Once a unit participates in attack, it is no longer active. An attack check that results in no attack does not count as an attack. A unit in that check is eligible to be included in an attack check by a different lead unit. So that armor can now become the lead unit. That unit doesn't check again. Therefore, we can check now for that. So we've done it in the right sequence. We checked that first. They decided not to go in there. So now we check for the attack on St. Vith. So there is still hope for the Germans. They've read the rules. I haven't. Well, I have twice. But now we're learning it. Okay, so the odds are 4, 5, 6 to 3. Doing the situational check again, it's 6 to 4. All right, so we then got to roll again the dice. 16th December. Attackers include elite units. No, defender has no elite. It's actually elite defenders. 2nd Infantry, US Infantry Division. Attackers activated by no, and supporting cards. There is no supporting cards. So net -1. The odds are 3 to 2 because it's 6 to 4. Yeah, 3 to 2. So it's a 5 becomes a 4. So cancel attack if it's a less than a 2 to 1 or only defender army. Is the attack less than 2 to 1? It is. Because it's 6 to 4. You're using that +1 because it's adjacent allied unit. Even though it's a dispersed one, it's still adjacent to a supplied allied unit. So that attack also doesn't go in. So that actually therefore ends all their offensive options. So they didn't go in. Interesting. And that ends their activation. That's them actually done. They've got no more cards left. So that goes over to there. And then it's over to me. I've got no cards either. So that is the end of the game, I think. I'll just double check that, make sure I haven't missed something. It says repeat German and Allied impulses until the German draw pile is exhausted, triggering end of day. Complete the current impulse, which we've just done. If German take one more Allied impulse. Okay, but I've got nothing. Oh, okay, I pass. The day ends even if cards remain in your hand or draw pile. So that's it. End of day phase. Well, we don't have to worry about the end of day phase because there is no next day in this particular scenario. So the Germans failed to win because they did well. So if they'd gone in on that attack and killed that unit, they could have won the scenario because that unit would have made them to 4. St. Vith itself is worth 2. But according to the chart, they didn't go in. Was there anything on that actual? Because it was less than 2. Because of that unit there, that made that a 4 defense for checking. Right. If the supporting card, there was no supporting card. Halve the total strength of all German units. Round down, that would be attacking across the river. No. Double the strength of allied units defending. They don't get that. Add 2 or subtract from the defending unit strength for +1 for the poorest. In an improved position, neither one of those are counted, but adjacent to a supplied allied unit. Doesn't say an undispersed or whatever. He is adjacent. He is getting support even from that dispersed unit. If he'd been dispersed himself, he'd have been at -1, but he isn't. So the attack don't go in. Right, I just want to make sure I hadn't missed anything. Let me bring this back up to the top. I won! Hey! I don't feel like I won, though. I think that the system So, all right, didn't really help the Germans there in a way. Why wouldn't the German player attack? I mean, okay, the odds ratio wasn't great. Maybe they would just wait for a bigger attack. And to say this is a learning scenario. Um, so, yeah, you can only play with what the cards say and what the rules dictate. I think I got it right. As I say, mention in the comments if I didn't. If I missed anything, then I apologize to the German player. Um, but as a learning situation, I think that was a good playthrough. Good way it, sort of worked. Pacing. I know that on the next day, the Allies get more cards, and I'm presuming the Germans get more. Well, they'll get their full hand, won't they? In this, they've got a limited hand because most of the cards had already been used up on that first impulse, which I don't get to see. That's done by the setup cards. So I'm recording this. I've recorded 3 or 4 videos all in one go. So this is going to be released this should be December the 15th. December the 16th is, as I say, that when the actual offensive began, and that's when I'd probably like to start the full game as the Allies. Because I've learned Allies solo, then I might as well carry on Allies solo. I'm not going to sit here and learn another game. But it just goes to show I mean, the game's a bit pricey. In the UK, I don't know how much it is in the States, but it would cost me just shy of £130. However, there's 3 games in that box. So it's £130. That's £40, £45 a game. That's not bad. Considering you're getting 3 map sheets, one for each of the games. Obviously, the same amount of counters, you're getting the same amount of cards, but you get different, ones of these. Oh, that's blanked me out completely, isn't it? Okay, that's because of the background. But you get 3 lots of different displays and charts and such forth for each of the games. Um, and the rules are different. You've got the 2-player version rules, you've got the German solo and the Allied solo. So you've got 3 different games to play in that box. So that's actually not bad value. Um, and by the looks of it, because of the way the cards, they're going to be, I mean, the story or the evolution of the story is going to be the same, isn't it? The German's going to go, "Wah!" And then the counter attack, I should imagine. Um, but that's why we play these games, isn't it? How, just playing that first scenario, the sequence of cards. I mean, I had a fair deck of cards, but I could only have 7 of them. What those 7 were, they're going to be the prime cards. They've got the word prime at the bottom. But the other additional other cards, don't know. So again, and also the sequence of the German cards, which cards actually came out for them to play, and which came out for them to be the combat cards, or support card, whichever way you want to look at it. Again, it's going to be different. So even that 1 turn scenario during December the 16th should play fairly different each time, because the setup will be different because of the way the setup cards are gone. And I'm going to see, I was planning to keep the same setup for this learning game and also the actual full game. Nah, let's do a new setup, see what situation it gives me. Um, so yeah, I mean, is this effectively a mini review based on what I've played so far? It has been a brain ache, I must admit. Um, but then most bot systems are. When I played Fire in the Lake with the bot, um, and other games which have a bot, there's always that you did it right, you did it wrong. I mean, that was Tarawa, okay, how the Japanese worked in that. And all right, that's again almost a battlefield game. But I've actually done Ambush and Battle Hymn. There's always that, are you doing the bot right? Are you doing it fairly? You're doing it to the best of your ability. You're going to make mistakes. It's bad. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes with Tarawa. I was still having fun. I was still having enjoying it, and it was still tense and exciting. And the same, even with this, I wasn't really moving that many units. It was more the interesting what the Germans are going to do next, and can I do anything to stop them? Those roadblocks I placed in one of the earlier episodes, they never really got tested. but they were there just in case they were. I moved the allied units. You were using the one unit you could move per day. I moved it. He didn't get attacked or challenged, but he might have been. So that's the sort of what you got to think about when you're playing these games. And as I say, if any of you got this game sitting on the shelf, get it down. It damn well deserves to be played. Um, and that's why I want to carry on playing it. And then probably when I finish playing it as the Allies, will I play the Allies again, or will I learn a whole new game and play it as the Germans? Don't know yet. But the way I feel at the present moment, I want to explore everything in that box. And I've still got Kharkov sitting there going, yeah, there's me too. You can play me as well. In actual fact, that was the one I was more interested in, but just because of the obviously the Battle of the Bulge anniversary come out, that's why I thought, oh, I'll do that first. But this is fascinating already. I've had various Bulge games in the past, and they've been, yeah, they've been all right, but none of them have really made me go, oh my goodness. I've never been that interested in the battle itself. I know, sorry, American viewers. Um, it's like, yeah, okay. I'm always been a bit more of an Eastern Front dude, but playing this, it's had, even though again I haven't been able to do that much, as the Allied, has kept me involved and has got me interested in the battle and how it'll evolve. So, job done, Mr. Butterfield. Job done, Compass Games. And yeah, I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen when I play the full works. I know the initial start is going to be very similar to what I've already done, but going on into 17th, and 18th, and 19th, and so on, how the supply, how the fuel, air support, all that integrating, does it all still stick together? Does it all continue so that the game at the end feels balanced, feels well maintained, and obviously the mace thing keeps my interest, and then hopefully your interest. So, anyway, discussion over really. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did or did not. If not, let me know why so I can improve my presentation, whatever. Any mistakes, faux pas, again, mention in the comments. It'll all help me for when I move forward into the main game. And also, if you could like the video, gets it spread out on the algorithm there, and subscribe. It helps the channel. Thank you very much. And play games. Have fun.